Welcome to the Chris Hatcher Show, this week presented by Meld Financial. This week we take a look back at Samford's game this past Saturday against the number 17 ranked Furman Paladins. And unfortunately, came home with an overtime loss 44-37. I'm your host, Kevin Blackwell, and of course each week I'm joined by Samford head football coach Chris Hatcher. Coach, some losses are tough. Losses like this, they'll stay with you for a while.
Well, there's no question about it. They're all very difficult on the coaches and the players. And, you know, I thought our guys played with great energy and effort the entire game. We had plenty of opportunities to win the game, just like we did versus ETSU. And we keep making some self-inflicted mistakes, not necessarily what the other team's doing to us, what we're doing to ourselves. We had a great chance to win the game. We find ourselves in overtime and make a couple crucial mistakes there. And then I think at the end of the game, defensively we got tired. We played a lot of snaps on that side. Offensively, we're inconsistent. And then, you know, something that's just been a stalwart of what we've been able to accomplish these past 5 seasons has been our special teams play. And we had a few miscues there. And you put those together, you're on the road against a 17th ranked team in the country. Things usually aren't going to turn out your way, and that's exactly what happened Saturday.
Well, it was a game of momentum, really. I mean, the first quarter, Samford jumps out to a big lead. Second quarter, we see some of that lead go away, jump back out third, and unfortunately, momentum was not on our side in the fourth quarter. But talk about that, game of momentum.
Well, usually, you know, when you play games like that one on Saturday, it comes down to that. And when you got the momentum, things are going good. And when the other team has it, it's very difficult to turn it when you're at their place. And there's no question about it. It was a game of big plays and then lack of execution on our part in certain times where we had an opportunity, I think, offensively to put the game away. We were not able to do that. But we had a lot of outstanding individual performances. And again, really proud of our team. And like I said, told them after the game, you know, if Furman's the 17th ranked team in the country, and we go to overtime with them, we're not far off as a football team. But again, very disappointing game we should have won. We let slip through, and I'm sure at the end of the year we'll look back on that one and go, golly, we could have taken care of business. But hey, the positive is we got another week to play football, and we're excited about it.
On a positive note, Samford scored in every phase of the game on offense, defense, and special teams.
Yeah, you know, at the beginning of the game, you know, we turn it over on the opening kickoff, give Furman a short field to work with, go down 7-0. Then we get a pick six. Defense has to go right back out. They stop them. We get 3 and out. We stop them again on defense. We force them to punt. We return it for a touchdown. The defense has to go right back out. So it was a big play game. Third quarter, throw a 70-something yard pass to Ty King for a touchdown. So it was just kind of a lot of hits and then a lot of misses, a lot of hits, a lot of misses. I'd like to see us be more consistent for the entire football game.
Let's talk about the offense. The offense was able to create 407 total yards. Liam, 16 for 21, 253 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Also added 48 yards rushing. Jay Stanton continues to run the ball well, Coach. 86 yards and a touchdown. He averaged almost 5 yards a carry. When you look at the offense, the game on offensively speaking, I mean, what are the inconsistencies that you're seeing that would need to improve on?
Well, you know, if you look at the stat line, I mean, a lot of people would love to have that stat line. We only scored 23 points on 57 plays. You know, through the course of the game, which is way low for us as far as a play count goes. You know, I think a little bit of it is as coaches, we're trying to figure out kind of who we are. You know, we've been rotating quarterbacks, trying to find the right lineup. And I think we, as a staff, we got to trust the plays that we have, and we got to turn the quarterbacks a little bit, give them some more freedom. And then let them go out there and play. I think we've been protecting those guys a little bit, and we need to open it up a little bit more. Now, hopefully, that'll increase our points per game total.
Of course, one of the big issues on Saturday was the turnovers. We had 2 fumbles lost and an interception as well. Just got to learn to keep that ball in our hands.
Yeah, that's always that was something that plagued us last season, and unfortunately for us, we had just intercepted the ball, and then we come back and turn one over, and then we fumble late in the game at overtime. So anytime you turn it over, it's not a good thing, but the times we did it were crucial points in the game.
No doubt about it. Let's talk about special teams. It was a bright spot in the game, sure. I mean, Mitchell Finneran connecting on 3 field goals, one from 50 and one from 46. Of course, Montreal's punt return was electric. If I'd have made the moves that he made, I'd have been in traction for weeks. But what a game for our special teams.
Yeah, we played well there, and Montreal's, of course, he's an All-American punt returner, and he had 2 electrifying punt returns. One of them got called back, and then. But then again, we turned it over one time. We started in some bad field position on some kickoffs. We covered our kicks well. Again, the theme of what's happened to us in 3 games is just straight inconsistency. We got to figure out a way to clean that up.
Let's talk about the defense. Of course, Chris Edmonds was named SoCon Defensive Player of the Week this week with 2 interceptions, one of those being a pick 6. Almost had a third one, by the way, went through his hands. But 7 total tackles, including 5 solo stops. Talk about Chris and the impact he's having on defense.
Well, he's a guy that he walked on the program, and of course he's earned him a scholarship since then. But he's just got a great feel of what we're doing. He had a couple great breaks on the football on Saturday. He's a big, long guy. I tease him all the time that, he's a couple biscuits shy of being a defensive end. But he moves well, and he's just a great young man, and he's the type of guy that you love representing your program, and we're really proud of him.
Well, the schedule hadn't been too kind to us having Furman and then Wofford back-to-back. You said yourself, normally the championship goes through those 2 teams. And, of course, this Saturday we line up against the Wofford Terriers here at Seibert Stadium for a noon kickoff. Wofford this week is ranked number 20. Of course, they couldn't play last week due to some COVID issues, but you know a lot about Wofford regardless of whether they played or not last week.
Well, there's a lot of truth to that. We got to be ready to stop an option-style type offense. All these guys, Furman, Wofford, Citadel, they all run it a little bit differently. They'll spread you out a little bit more. And so that's always, it's difficult because that's not a traditional style of offense to prepare for. In this league it is, but not traditionally. And then defensively, just like Furman, that's where they hang their hat on, in my opinion. They've got a tremendous defense. It's going to be a tough game, and everyone in this league's a tough game, but they're especially tough, and they had a week to rest, and we got to do a good job of getting back up. We were hurting from that defeat on Saturday, and understand that we got to bring our A game again this week in order to have a chance to be victorious.
That game will be Saturday at noon for kickoff here at Samford against the Wofford Terriers. You can view the game on ESPN+. And we hope to see you either here at the stadium or hope that you'll be tuning in at home. That'll do it for this week's edition of the Chris Hatchard Show, this week presented by Mailed Financial.